Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
It's been a week. But all around good. We almost watched the Munsters again today, so I don't know if that says it was a good or bad day. So how are you doing, Ozzy?
When you say the we is and the you and the wife, that we, not me saying, hey, let's watch, because I would never. Also as Flesh Wound producer Todd.
Not everything's about you, Ozzy.
That's true. However, at the same time, when I've introduced me as the host to the listener, be it on Spotify, or the watcher, be it on YouTube, when Greg says we, after me sending it to him, they may think, did Ozzy suggest to watch the Munsters again? And
but by your reaction,
that is not the point.
But by your reaction, he was obviously not talking about you.
Touche. However, I did mention that we do have audio. Can you let me talk? I do want to say that we do have audio listeners that don't visually see my expression. So I'm trying to cater to our entire audience, not just those specific here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/FleshWoundFeatures. Todd.
Good
job. I'm trying to address our entire audience. I'm looking at the big picture.
You did establish you're in Southern California and I'm in the Bay Area, so
I need. Hey, people are driving sometimes when they listen to podcasts. All right,
you just got to say you're right, Ozzy, and move along. Sometimes you're right,
because
Ozzy.
Sometimes Ozzy, and move along. Sometimes. One thing this cold has given, every time I laugh, I feel like I sound like Muttley. So it's been way too much fun. It caused additional laughing.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a variation of nitrous oxide, if I ever heard one. Now, this week's episode, we are reviewing and discussing Burying the Ex, released on September 4th, 2014. But before we get in there, I just need to tell a quick story regarding a couple of incidents, minor events, if you will, beginning last Thursday. See, I'm getting ready for trivia, having at the Honey Pot Meadery, right? Every Thursday, 7:30 in Anaheim, California. Anyway, I'm selecting a playlist based on what the answers are. I'm picking songs out. All of a sudden, I hear the gate next to my bedroom open up, right? And then I go out to the front door and I see a lady that's like kind of running away. My roommate caught a homeless lady in our garage going through our boxes, told him, I was just looking for a place to pee. Why are all these boxes open? Stay right there. I'm calling the cops. She gets out through the door, and that's who I saw escape through the alley. And they ended up catching her. My roommate identified her. That's that. Less than 24 hours after that incident. Less than 12 hours after that incident. I have a delivery, and it just 6 large boxes, and it's a smaller hand truck dolly kind of thing. So I got to hold it up, and I'm stretching my back, and it's really a pain in the ass. And I see this homeless lady that's sitting out front of the building that I need to make to this delivery to. It's like an office building, and there's one door, and she's sitting out front. It looks like she's getting something out of her shoe. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I just got to get through. Well, you're going to have to wait. Oh, okay. Well, do you know how long you're going to be? Like 5-10 minutes? I'm done when I'm done. Okay. She wants to get in a shouting match with me. This is going to be awesome. So this is in downtown Santa Ana. I literally turn around to the street is literally called Main Street. I turn around to Main Street and I yell, hey, everybody, roll down your windows. This is going to get good. That lady did not expect that voice, because as soon as that happened, she started getting up. She's like, this is just messed up because the cops are controlling traffic. What are you talking about? I'm a cop. What are you talking about? You just said cops are controlling traffic. Let me see your badge. You're a cop. And at this point, she's walking away. And so you think I give a shit? I was like, no, I know you don't give a shit, right? And then at this point, she says, suck my dick. And she pulls down her pants. And I was wrong. It was a dude. So I needed to share that story because it's a story we're sharing. So back to Burying the Ex. Released on September 4th. Excuse me?
I was going to say, and this homeless man turned out to be dead.
Oh, if only. So this Burying the Ex, again, back to this film. Released on September 14th of 2014, rather. Rated R with a runtime of 89 minutes. Directed by one of my favorite directors, Joe Dante. Screenplay by Alan Trezza, starring Anton Yelchin, Ashley Greene, and Alexandra, Daddario. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, hey, baby. What's up?
I have a surprise for you.
I know what it is.
You do?
You got a puppy!
Well, taking a girl to the curb is the easiest part of a relationship. Text dumper. It's quick, easy, and depending on your wireless plan, it could even be free.
I can't text dumper.
You don't have unlimited texting? Come on, you were gonna break up with her anyways, remember? I refuse to let you rot away in this shrine to your ex.
Hi, Olivia.
Max.
So moving on. Cheers.
Cheers. Son of a... You died! I saw you die!
Oh, I know. Freaky deaky, right? Your girlfriend is so gone.
She's back, she's dead, and she thinks we're still dating.
I love you.
That's really great.
Cut the crap, Max. I know exactly what's going on.
I really don't think you do.
I dug myself out of a grave for you.
Ow, F, you're drawing blood.
That girl is not Evelyn anymore. She's zombie Evelyn. She's Zeppelin.
Well, then we have quickie first.
Please, Evelyn, you just rose from the dead. You deserve more than a quickie.
Stay to the heart.
She's not a vampire.
Bullet to the brain. It works in all those zombie movies.
Bear with me, but my girlfriend came back from the dead. And now she's gonna eat me.
What the hell is going on, Max?
This is Evelyn, my dead ex-girlfriend.
Trailer for Burying the Ex, absolutely fantastic. What is funny about the film is, or that trailer rather, is you see it falls victim of that. You basically see the whole point or all the plot points of the movie in the trailer. However, I can say in all honesty, all the funny parts are not in the trailer. There are some funny things that you have to actually watch the movie for because some are not appropriate for all audiences. Initial thoughts on this. I never heard of this movie, but I was a huge fan of Anton Yelchin after Terminator Salvation. I thought he was a fantastic Kyle Reese. Unfortunately, he passed away on June 19th of 2016, but it was good to see him in a role like this after seeing him in a role like Salvation, where he was, the young future leader of the resistance. Whereas here, as we just saw in the trailer, really fun. There's always an element of just entertainment to these Joe Dante movies. I mean, not necessarily that they're like, I almost think of like how comic book movies started to overtake the comedy out of theaters. Like you would have a movie like Iron Man or a lot of these Marvel movies that would combine action and humor, that served that's purpose at the blockbuster. So you started to see fewer blockbuster comedies, right? Dante's kind of that kind of director where he can just take a story and just get all the funny out of it. And this movie was way better than it should have been. It seemed like it had such like a basic script, but they added everybody had fantastic roles, which, by the way, I did forget to mention Oliver Cooper, who plays Anton's half brother. Greg, initial thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is one of those ones I hadn't heard of. And so going into it, it was a blank slate, just excited for something new. And it delivered. You're 100% right in the fact that it's a trailer that shows the story, but there's so much more to this film. Like, the journey itself is fun. The comedy is great. I really had a lot of fun with this. So this was like one of the biggest pleasant surprises of the year for me. And I'm probably gonna have this in a yearly rotation for Halloween.
Absolutely.
Well,
Todd?
this makes me so happy because I was worried while watching. I was like, "Is this funny enough? Or are they gonna?" Because I mean, I love full discretion. I love this movie. I'll watch anything with the Daddario. But I mean, this is the movie that made me want to watch anything she was in. This and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D were like the same time. But, but yeah, I mean, Dante's in it. It's it's a Joe Dante film, and it feels like one. It's just a fun film.
Yeah, his movie. I mean, way back when we did the review for Gremlins, I don't think that was a farce episode. I think that was or I can't recall. It was so long ago. The original Gremlins, we had a discussion about it, but we talked about how it doesn't really separate itself as a straight up horror movie or a straight up comedy. It's just a hybrid, right? And this is again one of those movies. And it's almost like I would want to see Dante direct an MCU movie just to see how that would go. I think that would be a lot of fun. But going into some of these favorite moments, I have a list to pick from. So I'm going to cede this first pick. Todd, you can go ahead because I was actually watching a previous episode, Death Becomes Her, where we're going over our favorite moments. And I took yours and you didn't have any other. That was like your one. And then Beetlejuice, I took your moment again last week. So,
you know what? I'm going to tell you, this is one I have them to spare, but I know no one's going to have this one. This is a line I caught. I don't know how I missed it before, but it made me laugh when she says, "Oh, will somebody please have sex with me?" Then in the background, you just hear, "Right here, baby." I just love it. That one got me this time. I was like, well, yeah, of course that's the answer.
Oh, man.
I do have another little thing to talk about a little bit, but it's less movie related, so we'll come back to me after this.
Okay. All right. Greg?
Just in case people want to go see this, I don't want to set up the scene. I don't want to say too much. All I'm going to say is formaldehyde, and that's all. I lost it.
Holy Toledo. Yeah. There were multiple drug references, not just to weed, but what makes a drug reference like it, the cliched drug joke is like, okay, guys on drugs. But when it was, did you take those acid tablets I left in your fridge? No, I didn't take. Hey, it's totally cool. You'll be fine in 8 to 12 hours. So it's beyond the, you're on drugs. And it's, hey, it's all right. Just do this. You'll be fine. That made, it was like a different way to see a drug joke. But the fact that there's a reference like, it's just a flashback to when I shroomed out on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Like just, and more than that, but again, just so many fun moments that happened of it didn't really just go out to tell just like a funny story. It's just telling a story that enhances all these humorous moments that happen in natural life, as I just explained with my interaction with two homeless individuals. So there you go. Now, Todd, you mentioned that there was something else not exactly movie related that you were going to bring up.
Yes, because I'm not going to go on about the Daddario, but I am going to bring up Fruit Brute.
Oh,
There
that's
you go.
Now,
There you go.
okay, I don't know where I'm going to go with this one, but I'm just going to throw this trivia fact out.
Can I pause
Fruit
this real
Brute-
quick?
Okay.
Well, I mean, just because
Well,
this
yes,
wasn't
of
a
course.
movie that somebody who's unaware of and never heard of this movie, when you say Fruit Brute, they're like, wait, okay, back up for a second. It is a reference to the film, as one of the characters does own an ice cream shop, has several themed ice creams, one of them being Fruit Brute, which was a cereal that Todd, for the audio listeners, is holding in his hands.
Now I'm gonna tell you something that's kind of funny. Well, real quick, do you know what this is currently cherry flavored? Yeah,
Okay.
it originally was lime flavored.
Hmm.
And it was also spelled fruit, Fruite. But then when they had to change the formula and stuff, they're like, I don't know if we could put fruit. So they changed the spelling. So now it's not Fruit, but they spelled it the fruit way on the movie. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, I don't know. I could keep going on Fruit Brute, but yeah. So I mean that, and now all I want is Fruit Brute ice cream. So I've decided I'm going to make myself a Fruit Brute milkshake because that's as close as I can get.
There
So
you go. Good man.
there we
you
go. I just
Now,
want to talk about Fruit Brute.
No, I got you. There was one scene in the movie. This doesn't really spoil anything, but it was the first time I've seen this in a movie or TV show. Todd, correct me, or Greg, if you've seen this in anything else, please let me know. But the way there was a door scene, right? So you had the door, you had one person talking on one side of the door, the other person talking on the other side of the door. They were facing each other, but it was the thick black line, right. To represent the door. I can't remember seeing that. I mean, maybe I have, but in this way where it was as though they were talking to each other. That was the best part. So it was quick, not something I'd seen that at least makes me remember anything.
Right.
Todd, I don't know.
Yeah, I know I've seen it before, but I can't place it. I want to say it might even be a Hitchcock thing.
Okay.
Chad, chime in.
I want to say like Friends might have done it too. It's very sitcom-y, like
I said comedy though, you know.
There was one other line that got me this time. I totally didn't bring it up earlier. There was one other line. And I'll just go with the what's that smell line at the end? And he's just like that got me. I do have one thing I noticed that I never noticed before, though. Another thing.
What's that?
And that's a slight criticism. I don't feel there's any way his ex could have been buried at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. They weren't balling like that.
Okay.
Well, you don't know her family.
Wait, no, hold on.
You don't know her family.
No, wait. Just let me just get this straight here. We just saw a trailer of a guy trying to break up with his girlfriend, and she gets hit by a bus. And I mean, we see in the trailer, she like raises her arm from the grave, and she just gets out. You know, she's walking around like a zombie. But in your mind, you're like, there is no way she would be buried there. That was the thing that did it. It wasn't the person that came back from the dead and it's a zombie that made your brain be like, I don't know about this movie, because the criticism, I mean, would she really be buried there?
It's a very specific LA criticism too. Like anywhere else isn't going to catch it.
Supernatural, you never know if it can happen. But let me tell you, when people want their money, especially in LA, they're going to get their money. So.
Now,
however, at the same time, not really essential to the plot. She could have been buried wherever. And
no! I just thought it was. Like, it never dawned on me before, but I was a little enhanced, so little details were popping out a little more. I was like, No way. That's true.
It actually, when they went back and he made that joke of like, oh, I can think of one person who's buried here. You know, I was like,
yes,
wait,
I mean, sure,
is
but
she
I mean,
actually
like,
buried here? How? So I was right there with you on that one. Now it is kind of funny for me that like when she comes back, she's actually not nearly half as bad as she was when she was alive. Like if you like follow her, she seems pretty cool. She ends up wanting to party and like, you know, didn't seem as controlling, except for in a few, you know, killy parts. So
the I will say that was the honeymoon period,
yeah,
and then the honeymoon period wore off, and then the control returned. Going into the ratings, I'm gonna say this right now because I'm sure somebody might be accusatory of this. I am full bias for Joe Dante movies. So when I say I'm giving this a 5, you might be like, well, he loves all Joe Dante movies. Of course, he just give it a 5. I didn't automatically give it a 5. As we mentioned before, whatever we give our rating system on, how much fun we had with the movie. I had a level of 5 out of 5 amount of fun with this movie. Greg?
yeah, I'm right there with you. Muttley made several appearances through the watching of this movie, so I have to give it a 5 as well.
Well, anyone who knows me knows, again, love Joe Dante, love the Daddario, and I love Fruit Brute. How does this not get a 5 from me?
There you go. 5s all around for burying the X. Now, is this available streaming anywhere or
It's
only
available
to purchase to rent?
It's available to rent and purchase on digital. You can still pick up the DVD. The Blu-ray, however, was a Best Buy exclusive, so which you can't get for Best Buy anymore because they don't sell physical media. But you can still find it pop up. There's one on Amazon, but it's $30, and yeah, it's just.
Are there any features on that?
Unfortunately, no. There's not.
Not even a trailer.
There might be, but it's not listed. There's no commentary or anything like that. It was an RLJ, one of their movies. They're not always big on extras. I'm hoping one day someone, one of the
Did you say RLJ?
Yeah. Wait, is it RLJ?
RLJ.
Yeah, RLJ Entertainment.
I'm 66% upset. Why am I 66% upset? RLJ, RL. Oh, LJN. That's why. I apologize, anybody not familiar with the company LJN, maker of toys and video games. But now you're
the best wrestling figures ever made.
Terrible video games. Terrible video. Like I am.
I want to bury the X video game where you fight the bats the whole time. 99%.
LJN would find a way to mess that up.
No, they put bats in everything. There's like bats in Back of the Future.
There is. I was literally when you. Oh my god! Oh god!
Half of the Friday 13th game, you're running from bats. I'm like, yeah, those bats in Friday. Yeah, Jason wasn't getting you. The bats were.
At the same time, but here's the thing: there's bats in the woods. Like
there's not one bat in the. Okay. In the Nightmare on Elm Street game, they're running from bats.
That I don't, whatever. Camp Crystal Lake, if I see a bat there, it's like, okay, I buy it, whatever. But seeing it was literally like a bouncing eyeball in the Back to the Future Part 2 and 3 NES game. No idea what was going on. Oh jeez.
I know we often argue which is worse.
66% upset because it was an RJN release, I believe, of the Blu-ray. What was RJ? RLJ? Oh my gosh. Now I'm upset. So, okay, we got the 5s. It's only available to digital. Man, okay, sorry. I apologize. We'll be back next week with a new episode where we're actually going to go back in time quite a bit. We're going to be reviewing The Ghost and Mr. Chicken starring Don Knotts. Yes. I've heard some things about this movie. Looking forward to it. We'll be available to review it and discuss, rather. That episode will be available next week. Listen to our discussion and review of the film. And if you haven't had the opportunity to do so, hit the subscribe button. Also, please be sure to join the Patreon of Flesh Wound Features, as there is a vote taking place for the episode that will release on the night of Halloween for Flesh Wound Farce. Do we have options available, Todd, or is it like?
Well, you got to check your inbox on Patreon.
My inbox?
No, not yours. They do.
Okay, but can you just tell me?
Not on air.
Oh. I swear, if it's Lost Skeleton,
I will promise you right now.
Is it Lost Skeleton? What was that stupid thing called?
That's part of a bet, so we
Skeleton?
can't have it be a part of a Patreon.
Yes.
That's like.
I will say, I feel a lot better about the bet. Ladies and gentlemen, those that are unaware, Greg and I have placed a bet based on the Week 17 matchup of the San Francisco 49ers and the Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, one of these teams lost today, and one of those teams did not. But moving on,
because yours didn't play.
No, I mean, listen, facts are facts. One of those teams lost. One of those teams didn't.
One of those teams has more wins overall.
Listen.
But did they?
One of these
Ozzy?
teams did not lose to the Falcons today. I'm just listing.
No,
I'm stating a
game.
fact.
It was a horrible
I'm stating a
game.
fact. Listen, if you don't want to face the truth, that's up to you.
I do.
But anyway,
I do face the truth.
As I was saying,
Raiders suck.
one of these teams lost today. One of these teams did not. Now, if the San Francisco 49ers win, we have to watch Lost Skeleton of Cadavra 2. And I'm going to punch somebody in the face.
So
that's not part of the bet about punching somebody in the face. It's just going to be a strong desire to do so. I can't even remember what happens what I get if the Raiders win. Like that, just the thought of watching the sequel to that piece of garbage makes me so mad. I can't even remember what else to say. What was the bet? Do we even remember? Do I need to go back to the episode to find out?
I don't think you ever said anything because you know you were going to lose it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. You just kind of resigned to it.
This is ridiculous. I'm going to go back and we're going to find there was something had to be whatever. Because I remember it was a quick agreement. And I was like, that didn't mean anything for Greg. So I'm going to have to go back and find out what that.
Yeah, I think you said I'd wear a Raiders something.
Oh, yeah, it was something like that. You had to wear a Raiders jersey or something.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. I couldn't think of anything because nothing upsets Greg. Like, well, unless you're the San Francisco 49ers losing to the Atlanta Falcons. Anything, that Greg would place a bet on, he can't be upset about. That I've tried several years and times. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But when the San Francisco 49ers lose to the Marcus Mariota-led Atlanta Falcons, that's
Are we still on the air?
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I just needed to get those extra digs in to Greg because of the
You're 1-3, Ozzy. You're 1-3
that have been shoveled into my. Hey, listen, one of these teams lost, one of these teams did not, and it was the San Francisco 49ers that lost to the Atlanta Falcons. The Las Vegas Raiders did not lose to anybody today. You can't do that. You know why? Because the Raiders didn't lose today. That's all. All right. I'm in a good mood. You can't ruin that, Todd. So I'm going to leave on a good note. That is Flesh Wound Features, producer Todd, and world famous juggler Greg Larson. I'm Ozzy V. See you next week right here on Flesh Wound Farce.
Kickers rule.